Greetings from Cleveland, Ohio, on a very pleasant Saturday, September 26th autumn morning. I'm standing in front of the new John Marshall High School, located on Cleveland's west side and facing West 140th Street. The new school opened on August 17, 2015, after nearly 2 years of construction. The formal ribbon dedication ceremony was held 2 days ago on Thursday, September 24th. Today is Alumni Open House Day, so welcome New John Marshall High School, a warehouse for the 21st century. My name is Satinder Puri, and I will discuss the features of the new school and explain why I have labeled it as a warehouse for the 21st century. I'm a retired structural engineer, a community activist, and a volunteer teacher at Riverside Elementary School. This is my 11th year teaching. I've taught subjects like first grade science, second and third grade math, advanced math, and engineering. There was a big campaign to save historic John Marshall High School. Over 2,400 petitions were collected. Here is a yard sign from the Save John Marshall High School campaign. There was also a 21-day-long hunger strike to save the school and protest the corruption used in the process. There was vote rigging, denial of due process, and cooking of financial numbers to show it was cheaper to tear down the old historic school rather than build a new school. While the school district renovated both John Hay and Rhodes High Schools, both with auditoriums, they cooked up financial numbers to show it was cheaper to build the new John Marshall rather than renovate it. All three schools, John Hay, Rhodes, and John Marshall, were designed by the same British-born architect, George Hopkinson, who also designed 14 other landmark schools. In 2012 and 2013, the historic 80-year-old John Marshall High School was destroyed, along with the auditorium, underground running tracks, and swimming pool. While the auditorium and tracks were part of the historic building, the swimming pool was a later addition. There was a call to investigate City Hall. However, there was no response from the authorities despite repeated emails and certified letters. Today we will look at the new John Marshall and how it compares with the old historic school that was destroyed. The new school has no basement, no indoor running tracks, no auditorium, and no swimming pool. It sits on the graveyard of the old historic school, which contains the remains of the architectural gem. The new school is a warehouse for the 21st century, built with cheap materials. The new school does not have any distinctive architecture, meaning it can be torn down and rebuilt as another warehouse without any regrets. The new school uses a few elements from the historic school which have been slapped onto the facade or on the interior walls of the John Marshall High Alumni Hall of Fame without any architectural context. This composite photograph shows the main entrance for the historic school and the new school. The historic school is to the left and the new school is to the right. The two eagles were originally at the top in full architectural context. In the new school, the two eagles were removed to the base and supported partially on cinder blocks without any architectural context, sitting here like two potted plants. Being a warehouse, the elegant eagles could have been placed anywhere without making any difference. So here are the eagles, the original eagles, and below them we see the new cinder blocks and the two are without any architectural context. And you can also look at the quality of the workmanship. The old elements had top quality work, whereas the new elements, the quality of workmanship is poor. So that is why it has the look of a warehouse, which can be torn down and rebuilt anytime. So the new school uses a few elements from the historic school, which have been slapped onto the facade without any architectural context. So here we are looking at a slide where there's an element that had architectural context, and then they took that element and they slapped it onto the facade of the new building without any context. So that is why, again, this transformation results in the look of a warehouse which can be torn down anytime without any regrets. Okay, so we are looking at the main facade of the John Marshall High School facing West 140th Street. It's a three-story wing. The three-story academic wing faces West 140th Street. It houses three academies: engineering, information technology, and business and civic leadership. In addition, the 11th and 12th grades will be here for the next 2 years. And again, if you look at it, there is no distinctive architecture. So we are standing at the northeast corner of the academic wing. The composite photograph on the left shows how the historic building used good quality stone and superb craftsmanship, while the new school uses cinder blocks and no craftsmanship. And of course, metal vents in keeping with the warehouse look. We are standing on the north side of the new school. To my left is the three-story academic wing, and the connecting corridor is in front with connection to the library, a gym, and a cafeteria on the right side, which is serving both the function of a cafeteria and auditorium called a cafeteria. Okay, I'm standing in front of the three plaques. The one in the center is for Chief Justice John Marshall, after whom the school is named, and two distinguished principals, Lee Boyer on the left and Benjamin Eggman on the right. The academic wing has three floors connected by an elevator and stairs. This is the first floor of the academic wing. It houses the academies of engineering and information technology. This is the second floor of the academic wing. It'll house the 11th and 12th grades for the next 2 years. You can see the new lockers. This shows you the corridor and the very well colored floor tiles. This is looking at the roof of the connecting wing between the academic wing and the gymnasium and the cafeteria.
Yeah, I'm surprised they use this
So you
material.
can see in here that we already have marks coming up from the rain. So
I think they would have used
inside one of the new classrooms, and you can see the new furniture. Everything looks tip-top. So this is inside a bathroom.
even the girls' bathroom is wide open.
And again, as you can see, everything looks spick-span because everything is
Where
new.
the old auditorium used to be, right? Okay, yeah. That's strange, yeah. Yep. Connecting corridor.
Really close up of books.
Alrighty.
It also has architectural elements from the old historic school. The architectural element from the old historic school was plastered on the wall without any architectural context. These photographs show some elements that were brought from the roof of the historic building and are now being repurposed and used as seats. Here again is one of the architectural elements, and here are some architectural elements that came from the auditorium and placed in the Hall of Fame, again without any architectural context. Again, these elements, they came from the old architectural, all old auditorium that was destroyed.
You just stick them up there. All right. You know what to do with them, so they stuck them up there.
So photographs of
Pretty good
famous
politicians.
alumni of John Marshall High School.
Oh, look at how they are.
These are gable frames that came
It's got
from
a
the
nice
historic building, and these gable frames have been installed as entrances to the gymnasium, again without any
standard.
architectural
All right.
context. Again, this slide shows you what we had on the historic building and what we have in the new building. Historic John Marshall High School, an architectural gem, opened in 1932, underwent a senseless and illegitimate destruction in 2012 and 2013, a crime against humanity that shall never be forgotten. This destruction was brought about by vote rigging and other irregularities committed by corrupt politicians and a visionless and corrupt Cleveland Metropolitan School District and their multitude of cronies. There was vote rigging at the Cleveland Landmarks Commission meeting of January 12, 2012, where the chief architect of the city of Cleveland, along with corrupt politicians, voted to demolish the historic building. In addition, the president of the John Marshall High School Alumni Association wrote a letter to the Landmarks Commission openly advocating for demolition of the historic school. That letter should be posted on the walls of the Hall of Fame for the benefit of future generations. May the names of the following who facilitated the senseless destruction forever live in infamy. Mayor Frank T. Jackson, former councilman and city council president Martin J. Sweeney, Councilman Anthony Brancatelli, Councilwoman Phyllis E. Cleveland, Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Chair Cleveland Landmarks Commission, Manager of Architecture, Chief Architect, City of Cleveland, Director of City Planning, Bellier Puritas Development Corporation, and President and those trustees of the John Marshall High School Association who openly advocated for demolition. We are in the new cafeteria. This cafeteria has a stage which is behind me, so it can be used for presentations. Because it is a combination of a cafeteria and an auditorium, the space is called a cafetorium. However, everyone in the school calls the space a cafeteria. Here is the cafeteria stage. We don't have an auditorium, so we're looking at the stage now. And then you can see the other walls of the cafeteria. It's quite a large room. There is also a projection room at the end, but definitely not in any way an auditorium. So it basically is. So basically, it is a cafeteria and definitely not an auditorium. And that is why it is called a warehouse for the 21st century, which can be destroyed anytime and rebuilt. These photographs show the elegant auditorium and the architectural details, some of which were saved and plastered on the walls of the new school without any context. I'm standing next to the stone pieces from the old historic school with the name John Marshall High School. In the historic school, these stone pieces were on top of the main entrance. We saw the main entrance a short while ago. While the new John Marshall High School behind me does not represent the heritage embodied in the historic school that was destroyed, the new school offers many opportunities for our young scholars to pursue careers in engineering, information technology, or business and civic leadership. To succeed in life, our young scholars must work hard, Remember what Thomas Alva Edison, the great American inventor, once said:
Oh,
genius
there.
is 1% inspiration and 99% is perspiration. Wishing our young scholars success in their academic endeavors. Thank you very much for your attention.